everyone. Welcome to Work Love Wednesday. Sam Smeltzer here for Work Love Wednesday. It is time for Work Love Wednesday. Happy Work Love Wednesday, everybody. It is 7:45 a.m. and let's start this Work Love Wednesday with a brief kind of recap. So this week has been a little more stressful, and as you can see on Facebook but not on Instagram, today's weekly reflection is going to be about waving at people on Instagram. Hey, Instagram. But my weekly reflection for Work Love Wednesday really generated thoughts about self-worth and stress. And so talking about stress, I want to talk about something that actually happened this week that caused a little bit more stress. And so those that are parents will probably be able to really resonate with this. And if you follow me on, I think, Facebook, because I don't think I shared it on Instagram, but definitely on Facebook, I did a video actually Monday to promote an event for Leadership Arts, Vision Fest, and I look really tired. My husband told me that I should have been more vulnerable in the video, although I thought that was not the appropriate context. But Monday morning, my youngest daughter, my 4-year-old Zoe, actually had to go in to the OR for dental surgery. She just has a bad combination of a sweet tooth combined with soft teeth, and by the time we got her to the dentist, there was just a lot that was happening in her mouth, and it resulted in 4 extractions. And to do that, they had to put her under. And I don't care how trained the healthcare professionals are, the facility that we were at, I used to work for that organization, and I know that the people are really top-notch and high quality there. But something about seeing your baby hooked up to tubes, being in an OR for 3 hours while you are in the waiting room waiting is just high anxiety. And luckily, as no surprise and what was expected, everything went exactly as it should have. She handled the anesthesia beautifully, and now we're just dealing with the recovery because she believes that we removed too many teeth, but they were 4 that had to come out of her mouth. And so it was a really hard day as a mom, and the night going into that day, I really did not sleep at all. We had to be at the facility by 6:15 because her procedure started at 7. And I just kept worrying about oversleeping, and I didn't really sleep. And one of the interesting things is throughout January, I've actually been doing some health stuff, which is not, I mean, it's a trend, right? In January, it's a trend, health stuff. And while I was doing this health stuff, one of the major things that I've been focusing on is the effects of stress on my body. And one of the huge things that I've seen is when the sleep cycle is interrupted for me, or when I can't sleep because of stress, my health gauge kind of goes in the opposite direction. And I knew that it was emotionally taxing. I knew that it was energy draining, but throughout this month, I'm really able to really see what that looks like and what that is doing to me. And Monday was kind of like that. And so knowing that how much, just normal things in life that we can't control, that we just have to deal with. If you're a parent, if you're a homeowner, if you're a business owner, even just going to work, I mean, there's just things that bubble up that we have to deal with, that we have to take care of. I guess that's called adulting, and it's stressful. Normal life is just, there's stress, and stress is good in healthy amounts, but we have to control that. So I want to come back to stress, but I really want to touch on this piece about self-worth, because over the last week, and maybe 2 weeks, but I had a period of time that I was in grief, so I probably was not ready for that universe's lesson. But over the last 2 weeks, I've kind of had what I like to call spiritual slaps about self-worth. Sometimes I think not necessarily that we get tested, but we have check-ins um, really that I truly believe are people checking in with us to see if we are ready for whatever is next for us, whatever waits for us next in life. And it's really kind of checking in on our personal and professional growth to see if we've really kind of mastered whatever those new skill sets are that we've put out there. And so if you've ever faced challenges where you really want something, but you don't want to face the fact that you're not ready, this was kind of what happened over the last week, is that I had some really powerful reminders of letting me know realistically where I am in my growth and my development, and why I'm not ready for whatever I really, really want, which is probably why I can't get the energy aligned to really manifest that. And it's not that prayers or wishes or dreams are not answered or not coming true. It's just that there's legwork that has to happen. There's a framework that has to go into play for those things to kind of happen. And so for me, it really manifested in two ways. Number one, a strong feeling of jealousy. And jealousy. I can remember early on, way early on in my youth, jealousy was a common feeling for me. Always being envious of what other people had. And I can even say early on in my adulthood, my marriage, my relationships and friendships, watching people and wanting what they had, looking at how they connected to people and wanting that. But it's not a feeling that I get very often. Every once in a while, there will be some interaction that Josh has with another woman or individual, and I will be jealous of that, and it creeps up, and it always catches me off guard. But in the last week, I had at least one specific incident with someone, not romantic jealousy at all, but actually professional envy and jealousy, from someone else who has just started their business, is growing their business, and in my mind, and this is all my perception, because it's not like I sat down with this person and we talked about it and I know exactly where they're at. This is all from perception of what I'm feeling and thinking. But from my perception, they're farther along than I was at that time, which means they have the ability to surpass me at some point. And the work that they're doing is very similar to the work that I'm doing. And so it instantly went from jealousy, wanting to be angry because I didn't want to feel the feeling that was underneath, which is me questioning my self-worth, me questioning if I should even be allowed to be doing the work that I'm doing every single day. And I have that question come up quite a bit. And that tells me that all the things that I'm working towards are coming, but I still have a lot of clearing to do, a lot of inner work to do, which is hard to face when you've been doing it for at least 4 years of complete dedication to personal growth and really throwing yourself into the fire. And I look at the book From Heart to Heart and really see how much I have put myself out there and really gone through the feelings and tore into the lessons and held myself accountable to that. But as we back up, I realize that there's just so much more to do. When you look at how much of my life, if it was Zoe who had been doing personal growth for the last 4 years, she'd be in a pretty good place, because she'd basically be doing personal development and growth for her entire life. Even Madeline, at the age of 7, if she was doing personal growth and development for 4 years, the balance between the 3-year and the 4 not the situation that I'm in. That's not the situation that most of us are in. We start going down this journey and we're undoing 30 plus years of yuck that we have to overdo. And some, it's even more than that. It's even more than 30 plus years. And it was just a very humbling kind of experience, one that is needed, because ego can kind of take over and convince me that I should have what I want right now at this very moment. But if I really listen inward and I pray and I pay attention, I will know that everything's coming in the time that it's supposed to happen. And what I need to do to get there. And I just need to trust that path. And so jealousy sparked this thought of self-worth. And the biggest question that has started to bubble up for me, it used to be that I'm not enough. Like that would be the statement that I would hear when self-worth would ever happen, is that I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough. That has quieted down. I don't have that anymore. And if you have that, I totally feel you. And that statement sucks. And I hate when that thing is kind of bubbling in. But it is one that kind of happens. The one that I am having now is, who am I? Like, who am I to start a business? Who am I to do my weekly reflections on Facebook and Instagram Live every Wednesday? Who am I to write a book? Who am I to do energy work? Who am I to coach? Who am I to train? Who am I to share anything with anybody? Especially when I'm looking from jealousy of these really super talented people, and then realizing that I don't really believe that I have talents. And 2 weeks ago, I went to this incredible workshop that was hosted by Katie Caples, that brought women together to really plan for 2019, in particular into our businesses, and how to make sure we stay on track. And it was really, it was time, and it was centering for ourselves, but it was also a way to come together and be really focused and really pinpoint those goals, which I'm really horrible about. Like, I will have goals, but I don't want to put numbers on them, and I don't want to put dollar figures associated with them. And then if you're in a business mode, even if you are servicing and healing other people, you are in a situation where you have to have abundance coming in to do the work that you're doing. Otherwise, it is, the well's going to run up dry, and you can't continue the work that you're doing. And so that's always like some big kind of balance that I've always tried to work through and master. And it's still a very unhealthy relationship that I have with money. I always laugh when Josh tells me that I should do a course on money or money mindset, because I'm not there yet. I'm still working and healing, and it's not there at all. But asking so going back to this workshop. So part of this workshop is Katie had us write little love notes to each other that we could take with us. So the women that we were gathered at our table, and I actually had to leave early because that was the day of DK service. But we made sure that we passed these notes so that I didn't leave without a note, and the person that I was supposed to write a note with didn't leave without a note. And I threw the note in my purse and actually found it this week, which appropriate timing. And the note was really touching because it was about how she could hear in just the short time frame that I was with her for 1 or 2 hours that I sell myself short, and that the things that I think people should just naturally do, even though they're not doing, that my skill sets are needed, and that I'm providing a service that is way more impactful than I give it credit for. And so talk about perfect timing. So I said I had 2 experiences this week that made me really think about self-worth. And so that's, one was the whole jealousy kind of trigger, and the perfect little love note that came through courtesy of Katie Caples, who's watching on Facebook. Hi, Katie. You're very welcome for the shout out. Which kind of solidified what the lessons were that were happening for me this week. The other one that happened is I've had an encounter over the last couple of weeks with an individual who really has been testing my abilities. Not so much to say that I am not good at what I do, but kind of dances around that peripheral. But the person keeps coming back, and I don't really know why. And in the world where we service other people, we can't shut people down, but I'm a helper. I want to help people. I am a healer. And so when I know that there's a situation where I can help, I'm going to help. And until it turns into something that is not good for either party, myself or the other one included, I am going to continue helping and serving. But I started to realize that this self-worth component was coming up. And when I was around this individual, I kept hearing the question very loudly of who am I? Who am I to help this person? Who am I to think that I can help this person? And I started to have things come out of my mouth of maybe you should go here, maybe you should go there. And that's all ego-driven. That's all fear-driven of, being afraid of what our true power is. In the book From Heart to Heart, when I was writing it, one of the last chapters that I wrote was talking about power, and I didn't think I would talk about power. And I really gravitated towards the word power over empower. Empowering is helping someone get to that place where they find their power. But I think we don't talk enough about our power, about what we have to really offer the world, our true strength do, whether that's the ability to help people see things clearly. I mean, what kind of not superpower is that? I mean, that's incredible. How many of us can't see things clearly? And I remember in the fall, I met a woman and we were talking about powers, and she said that she didn't have any of them. And as we started talking more, and I said, you empower people to see things clearly. You help guide conversations and discussions so that people are crystal clear about where they're moving forward. And doing that in your business, every meeting that you go to, you are a blessing. You are moving things in this powerful direction where they might end up just spinning their wheels if you were not present. And she said, well, I just do that because I need that for myself, which is true. That's great. But the ripple effect that you are sending is powerful. And so it is your power that you're sharing with the world. And so I think we don't embrace that enough. So bringing this back full circle, going from one S to another S about self-worth, I recognize that right now for me, I'm still in a very big time of healing. So much so that I had talked about for 2019, my goal is to be connected to my purpose, connected to my calling, connected to my passion. And in doing so, doing the things that I need to make sure that I can show up at my best. And that's why there's a focus on wellness overall. That's why I'm playing with this concept of stress and trying to find out what the healthy stress is on my body. And I challenge you to really question the status quo on your stress level. We build up such a tolerance of what we can do, and we feel like we can't live without less stress. And I've seen people like this on an ongoing basis where they can't even handle a moment of quiet. And when we are avoiding the quiet, that means we're avoiding the time to have the lessons that we need to hear so powerfully. If I was so stressed and on this treadmill sprinting 120 miles per minute, would I be able to embrace the quiet, to know that over the last week that I've had two very clear lessons on how I'm still questioning my worth in my work and probably in my personal life too. Who am I to be a mother? Who am I to be a wife? Who am I to have this incredible man as my husband? Who am I to have these incredible daughters as my children? And so there's still a lot of healing that's happening there. And the only way that we can really heal that is to make the time for the quiet, to center ourselves, to give ourselves permission to release the fear, or at least just feel the fear and look at those things head on. So those are my thoughts for Work Love Wednesday. That's my weekly reflection for this week. We'll see what this week has in the making to bring. But I do have a challenge for all of you. So I want to start a Work Love Wednesday challenge using the hashtag Work Love Wednesday. I'm a big believer in imagery. I think images have such power, which is one of the reasons why I love hanging out on Instagram, because I love I love images. I just think they're so powerful. I think they tell me so much about the beauty that you see in your lives. And so Work Love Wednesday is all about filling up your cup with some work love so that you're empowered to do what you love and love what you do. And so if you see an image that really speaks to that, of something that you love or is empowering you to do what you love, take a picture, capture a moment of stillness, and post it using hashtag #WorkLoveWednesday, because I would love to see them. And I'm going to challenge myself today to really take some time and post Work Love Wednesday. But let's start this weekly Wednesday challenge and look for those moments. Thank you so much for joining me today, whether it is live or later on. And I hope you have a fantastic Wednesday and the rest of the week, and enjoy some self-care and moderating that stress.